Look out!
The Lord be with you. What do you need?
I'd like to apologize for that brawl. Lord Capon is a bit hot-headed.
That capon of yours, and you fought like a lion.
Yeah, you know, it wasn't my first brawl.
I could tell. In any case, as far as the two of us are concerned, it's all water under the bridge, right?
Right.
You can see I'm not some idiot, can't you? I just don't like haughty fuckers. And you aren't one, are you?
I hope not.
I'm sure you aren't. You're a good lad. I can tell. And a good brawler as well. If you ever want a proper workout and some fisticuffs, Lawrence the Geliov innkeeper is your man. Farewell, my friend. Huh?
You shouldn't be bothering us here.
Oh, I just remembered. I really better go.
Good luck. What would you like?
I heard you could use a helping hand at the forge.
I could. My last two hands, well, they're not worth mentioning. And what with the wedding coming up, the work is piling up. What do they call you?
Henry.
I'm Radovan. You should know, Henry. The blacksmithing isn't for everyone. Have you done it before?
Yeah. I basically grew up in the forge. My father was a swordsmith, and not just any. He even forged swords for the nobility.
For the nobility, eh? Well, that kind of experience will come in very handy for me indeed. As it happens, I have to forge a wedding present for young Lord Semine. A fine sword.
So you'll take me on?
Hold your horses. I'll have to try you out first. You could forge me a hunting sword as a test, so I can see if you can make a straight blade. That shouldn't give you much trouble if your father was a swordsmith, should it?
Sure thing. I can get started right away.
Great. Find some iron and get started then.
Iron?
You can't make a sword out of butter, but if you don't have your own stuff, you can get everything from the chest in my forge. Go over to the anvil and let's get started. You gonna get started then? Then go over to the anvil and let's get started. Furnace is cold now. Give it a practice try. Some things, like swords, are too long to fit in the fire. You have to heat it up. Try poking it around for a bit. Now get the furnace nice and hot. There's a lever above you. Give it a pull. It works a bellow. Tell the temperature by the color, but you won't be able to tell when it's in the fire. You have to take it out from time to time and take a look. Try it out. See? That's exactly the straw color we want. You've got talent, lad. Now heat up the whole thing. The whole thing is heated up now, so come over to the anvil. Try moving the sword along the anvil so you can get the hang of it. Now take the hammer and try hitting it a few times. See the sparks? That's the sign of a good strike. The more sparks, the better. Also, you can hammer with different degrees of power. A stronger hit will do more, but it'll tire you out faster. Try giving it a few blows, as hard as you can, so I can see how strong you are. That's got a nice ring to it. Of course, if it was all about hitting an anvil with a hammer, any dolt could do it. You've got to hammer the workpiece evenly. One hit next to the other. Very nice. You're doing just fine. But when I say evenly, I mean it. A sword has two sides, like a lot of other things, including myself. Turn it over and continue on the other side. Nice. Now try forging it on both sides. The closer it is to being finished, the more it will take on the shape you want. It'll cool off soon anyway. It's cooled now. You can't do it all in one go. You've got to put it back in the furnace from time to time. Sometimes you've got to go there and back all day. But it's all part of the craft. Now, get back to the forge and heat it all up again, like before. Get a move on. I'd like to get some other things done today. The whole thing is heated up now, so come over to the anvil. See that? Besides the sparks, you can tell a good strike by the sound it makes. Well struck. See how it's taking on the right shape? That's how you can tell it's almost finished. Now, I've got a piece of advice for you. Hammer to a rhythm. When I hammer a piece to a beat, the work goes by easier. Sometimes I'll whistle to myself to keep the rhythm going. Sparks. There you go. You've got it finished. All that's left is to temper it, and the sword will be done. The rest is just tweaking. Right. Let's have a look. Very nice work. Your father taught you the trade well.
He'd certainly be happy to hear that.
If you carry on hammering as well as you did today, you've definitely got a job here. Even so, keep in mind, it's all about making sure every strike does its job. That's why you can't let it get cold, or keep striking the same spot. If you work evenly, each strike falling right next to the last one, you can't go wrong. Got that? Or is there something else you want to ask about?
What good does it do me to whistle while I work?
It makes you work to a rhythm. You won't get tired so quickly, and the iron feels it.
How do I know a good strike from a bad one?
By the sparks that fly up. And by the ring. It rings out with a different sound when you do it right.
What's the right way to heat up the workpiece?
Do it till it turns the color of straw. Ideally, the color should be the same everywhere, if your forging's going to be even. The main thing is, don't work it cold. You just ruin it. But don't overheat it either. As soon as sparks start to fly off it in the furnace, take it out.
Why should I forge evenly?
If you keep hammering the same spot, you'll never finish it. You'll just fuck it up. But jumping from one end to the other ain't a good idea.
How will I know it's finished?
Notice the shape. The closer you are to finishing, the more precise the shape it will have.
Thanks. That's all I need to know.
You can sleep in the chamber by the woodshed. And there's a chest where you can keep your things. And of course, you can use the forge anytime you want. Any questions?
Where can I get materials?
You can buy some essentials from me. But if you want to make a fancy sword with lots of ornamentation, you'll have to look elsewhere. This is just a village, you know. The locals ain't after luxury. And they can't afford it neither.
Where exactly is my bed?
At the side of the house, there are 2 doors and a wheelbarrow between them. You go in by the rear door, next to the woodshed, and you can put your things in the chest there. Don't worry, nobody'll steal them.
What now?
What do you think? You're not going to be idle. I'll find you some work to do right away. You're pretty good at swords, but what the locals really need is axes and horseshoes. Right. Here are some simple drawings that show what they're both supposed to look like. And some iron. You can get down to it right away.
Just like that? You aren't going to help me?
Sacre, lad. I chose you because you already know a thing or two. I'm not going to look over your shoulder all bloody day. You take care of these smaller jobs. Forge away as long as you're able, and then sell it all. Once you've made some coin and feel like being out in the open again, I'll give you some more interesting work. Great. I'm glad you found what you were looking for. Take care, friend. What do you want here? Why'd you barge in here? It's about those 2 idiot hands of mine, Venser and Franzi. They drove off with a cart full of goods towards Semine. And...
Do you want me to find them?
Just so. But more importantly, I want to know where my cart ended up. And especially the cargo. Go to Semine and find out what the bloody hell happened.
Have you any idea which way they might have gone? I could have a look along the way. Maybe their cart broke down or something.
There's only one road to Semien that can take a cart. It leads from Takov to Troskovitz, and then to the south. But I've got a bad feeling they got up to no good in Semien.
Those two hands of yours, Ventsa and Franzi, what can you tell me about them?
Can't tell you much. They're wandering laborers. I don't think they wanted to stay here with me for long, but these days I can use all the help I can get.
Were they suspicious in any way?
No, they worked hard. They ain't no slack.
What was the cart carrying?
Bugger and bollocks. All sorts of stuff. I'd say there were some hunting swords, bastard swords, and some kitchen stuff. Sacks of... There's a good month's work in that cartload.
All right.
Go ahead. And if you find that pair of fools drunk...
Gladly. I'll kick some sobriety into them. Show me your wares.
Oh well, what can you do? Farewell then. What would you like?
Can I ask you about that cart?
What is it?
Have you...
There's only one, but I've got a bad feeling.
All right.
Times...
There's a couple more things I'd like to ask about smithing.
Ask away.
Thanks. That's all I need to know. I'm still not really sure of myself in the...
Why not? Why don't you...
Yeah, I have.
Let's see what you can... Are you gonna get started then? Furnace is cold now. Give it a practice try. Some things, like swords, are too long to fit in the fire. You have to heat it up. Try poking it around for a bit. Now get the furnace nice and hot. There's a lever above it. Give it a pull. Works the bellow. You can tell the temperature by the color, but you won't be able to tell when it's in the fire. You have to take it out from time to time and take a look. Try it out. See? That's exactly the straw color we want. You've got talent, lad. Now heat up the whole thing. The whole thing is heated up now, so come over to the anvil. Try moving the sword along the anvil so you can get the hang of it. Now take the hammer and try hitting it a few times. See the sparks? That's the sign of a good strike. The more sparks, the better. Also, you can hammer with different degrees of power. A stronger hit will do more, but it'll tire you out faster. Try giving it a few blows, as hard as you can, so I can see how strong you are. That's got a nice ring to it. Of course, if it was all about hitting an anvil with a hammer, any dolt could do it. You've got to hammer the workpiece evenly. One hit next to the other. Very nice. You're doing just fine. But when I say evenly, I mean it. A sword has two sides, like a lot of other things, including myself. Turn it over and continue on the other side. Nice. Now try forging it on both sides. The closer it is to being finished, the more it will take on the shape you want. It'll cool off soon anyway. It's cooled now. You can't do it all in one go. You've got to put it back in the furnace from time to time. Sometimes you've got to go there and back all day. But it's all part of the craft. Now, get back to the forge and heat it all up again, like before. The whole thing is heated up now, so come over to the anvil. Sparks are flying nicely. Sparks. That's the stuff. See how it's taking on the right shape? That's how you can tell it's almost finished. Now, I've got a piece of advice for you. Hammer to a rhythm. When I hammer a piece to a beat, the work... There you go. You've got it finished. All that's left is to temper it. And the sword will be done. The rest is just tweaking.
I heard you could teach me something.
Yeah, what do you want to know?
I don't have enough money.
Excuse me?
Don't you dare hurt me with that thing. You madman.
oldu.
Is something wrong?
Will be.
Can I be of any help?
Right.
Mal ya. Ne de sürüştün oraya. Allah.
Keep the peace, and we won't have any problems. Welcome, my good man. Karl von Unterbrick is the name.
I'm Henry.
No. Why? Should I be?
Well, you've got a German face.
Honest looking, eh?
Yes. And do you live here?
You envy me, eh?
Of course, sir.
Well, don't even think about it. And now you're here.
You're selling something?
Of course. Gifts from heaven.
Gifts from heaven? What do you mean?
Just what I said. You're a bit slow, aren't you? When folks go home from the tavern, often as not they're pissed as a newt. And from time to time they drop something. Or even all nice stuff it is.
I'll have a look at the wares.
Take care then, and thanks for nothing.
A nice place. Too bad I never learned to fish. bloody deep. I can't swim. can't swim. What the fuck is this supposed to mean?
You're a dead man! Christ! I'm hit! Wanker! You want to try me? Die, you swine! Fuck that! No chance! You want to try me?
Dead. And robbed of everything, just like Capon left him. And there's no trace of Mutt. Oh, a nice bit of venison. And something took a good bite of it. Could Mutt... I've been here. Mutt's nowhere around. Someone must have taken him in. It's not far to the herb woman's place. Maybe I should ask her whether she's seen him. I can't swim. First, I have to have something to pay back. Have you seen a stray dog around? I thought he was dead, but he's likely still alive.
I'm sorry. I haven't...
Oh, Sakra.
If I were a dog,
Do you think he'd go and steal
I don't know much about dogs. You wouldn't be the first or the last. Maybe your dog's gone feral.
Has something happened?
My daughter, Pavlena, remember her?
I remember.
She's missing. It's not like her to be wandering around like that. She goes to Troskovitz to sell baskets, but she knows I can't manage on my own. These old eyes of mine can't see nothing much. I'm very worried about what if something's happened to her. I know I'm asking a lot of you.
All right, good wife.
Thank you, Henry. If I was you, I'd ask him, and my old legs ain't up to climbing stairs, but you might find...
So, Pavlena, what have you left for me? Like she got up and went straight out. I had a look in Pavlena's place in the loft.
And? Did you find any...
I wanted to ask you something else about Pavlena. Do you think anyone might want...
These are evil times, Henry. I dread to think what could happen to a young girl alone on the road. And besides, the folk in Troskovitz ain't too fond of us.
What have the Troskovitz people got against you? Did something happen?
I'd rather not talk about it, Henry. I wouldn't want you to get the wrong impression about us.
You live completely alone in the middle of the woods. Don't you think I've already got a bad enough impression?
And where else would we live, you genius, when we don't go digging up old wrongs, Henry? And don't.
Did it occur to you she might have run off? She's a young girl.
You don't know Pavlena. If she wanted to live a little...
Where exactly was Pavlena?
She says sometimes it takes her a while, but I have a bad... Care now?